Okay, so we are in a Valheim world that is specifically made for this tutorial. It is going to be a quick generic tutorial on how to, well, work table. So in this world, which is set to be no cost building, no enemies, no raids, basically I have set up here some basic tables, and the quick down and dirty of it all is going to be each table is going to be designed to do specific things. So this table here is a workbench. You're going to use most of this throughout the beginning part of the game to do all your basic simple stuff up till some of the more advanced stuff. As you see here, this is a pretty high-end table. This is a tier 5 table. And that's going to be take you all the way till the end of Ashlands. So tier 5 being table and 4 other pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So tier 4 for the work table is the highest at the moment. So each star here in your hammer, and a right click on the hammer, right clicking while the hammer is equipped brings you up with this here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 upgrades. Now, as opposed to the stone cutter, which doesn't have any. So the stone cutter will always be a tier 1. This only, as of right now, does a sharpening stone. And as you see here, it's crafted with 5 stone. It is, however, needed to craft the stone structures, as you see there on the bottom. It does have a radius, like all other tables. So once you are out of that radius, you can no longer build, even in a world like this that has no build cost. But once we do get in there, back into the circle, no matter if I'm in the circle, or the item is not in the circle, or not, as long as I'm in the circle, it can be done. But if the moment I step out of the circle, I cannot, even if the item itself is. These tables here will slowly be upgraded over time. So as you progress through the game, you will be allowed to build other devices that will add on to that table. So for example, the work table. To make this chopping block, all I need is 10 flint, a workbench, and 10 wood. The tanning rack will use 10 wood, 15 flint, 20 leather scraps, 5 deer hide, all within a workbench radius, and so on and so forth. Now, each of these will allow you to upgrade a piece farther and farther. So as you see here, these are max quality pieces. However, so if I created a stone axe here, now we see I can actually upgrade that stone axe as long as my work table exceeds this requirement of station level 2. I have one out here, however it does not have a roof. We'll remedy that. So it now is sheltered and is now accessible. So without any, it will be too exposed. So if the wind can get to it, if the elements can get to it, and if it does not have a roof on it, it will not be usable. As you see here with a 1-star workbench, which is just a workbench by itself, I cannot upgrade this piece as it requires a rank 2 workbench, which we can do by simply adding one of the items. Any one of the items will do. Each one represents an upgrade. And now we can upgrade the stone axe. Repairs will be free, at least as of right now, and that has not changed in many updates. Whenever you have damage, each item must be repaired at the appropriate work table. So as you see here, even at level 5, this has nothing to repair. But you can clearly see that my primal berserker axes are damaged, which I cannot again use this. And a good example again will be, even with a roof, it will not work because it will still be, oh, well, in this case it is not exposed for whatever reason. I believe the wind is coming out of the that could be why. It is coming from that direction there, and where I built the walls, it is blocking the wind. So at least until the wind changes direction, this will not be overexposed. But at any rate, now that's odd. Oh, repair station. So this cannot repair yet because it is not a rank 4 workstation, as this berserker axes are saying. So as you see there, under durability, which it is damaged by 1%, still damaged. Repair station level is required to be 4. So if we upgrade this to a rank 4 station by adding, and you can tell you are adding to it because of the little sparkly lines that go to it. They can't be built next to each other, and you can't build more than one. So not to get confused with that dotted line going up. It is the little dots that, like little sparks, that actually are counted for that. So this should be a rank 4 now. And now I can repair that, as you see here. And it is repaired. As I said, each station crafts different items. You will not see any of these items here on any of these other tables here. And I can scroll down there. Feel free to pause the video and run it at a slower speed. Nothing here shows up anywhere else. There are a few exceptions, however. Actually, no, there isn't. Not at the moment, actually. So even these, none of these are actually anywhere else. And the Galdir table here, this creates most of your magic items. And again, it needs a roof. So let's try and test my theory. So if I build on this side here, and we set the roof up this way, and there we go, put these pieces on here. So very, very similar. Just in case. Very, very similar to that one there. So maybe, I'm not sure, actually. But this is the Galdir table. This creates most of your magic items, if not all of them. Magic as in I tier using items. So your staves and your Dead Riser are all right here. Nothing else will make them. Some magic swords, well, it depends what you mean by magic. The Himenifal, that will, technically, I would consider this to be a magical weapon. It does create a bit of lightning. You also have the Jotun Bane, which gives you poison. And actually even these, the Berserker axes. This particular one, imbued with the Eolite gem, does cause a bit of lightning. And so forth. However, in this game, what is referred to as magic would be anything that casts. And this takes care of all your I tier using items, and some others, such as the Feather Cape and the Asksvin cloak. Everything else would be like the I tier weave hood and the hood of Embla. All of these assist you with your iter regeneration, especially if you have the set. And everything else would be the weapons, such as the lightning shotgun here. Oh, and of course the seal breaker, which is used to break the seal for the queen. These are not all of the tables here. This is the artisan table, which does make parts for your siege items. This is your smeltery, so to turn your ores into bars. These would be all the way up to iron, and these would be from black iron or black metal and up. So tin, copper, bronze, well, technically tin and copper, and then bronze is made over here at the forge. Once you have your tin and your copper, you can come here to this table and make your bronze with 2 copper and 1 tin. You can make a stack of 5, which now actually is redundant because you can actually make 5. So I guess this would be 25 and this one would be 5 by holding shift. Now, provided you have the materials in your inventory, you will be able to hit craft and make these items. And I believe that will wrap up the quick tutorial on how to use your work tables. I might cover a little bit of what tables there are since I did not make them all. So there is your cooking stations here, your iron and your regular. The regular does make 2 pieces of meat. These have to be placed over a fire for them to work. And you have to have cookable items. However, these don't work unless you have them over a campfire or a hearth. So you also have your iron cook station, which can hold 5 pieces. Next, you have your cauldron, which also has to be put over a fire or a hearth. Lit, of course. These will make some of your cooking foods as well as some of your meads. Actually, no, I'm wrong. They took the meads off. So this is some of your stews and broths. You actually have this now, which will make your... This character didn't have that yet, or I didn't make it yet. Well, not a big deal. I was going to go get it. Who is this? Oh, this is my Grimlock character. Well, he hasn't built it yet. He's built it now. See, pains of using a cheat server, I guess, or cheat map. As you see there, it needs a lit fire below it to actually make some of the meads. And in this game, meads are made, and then you put them into a fermenter here. Once you have your mead, you put it into a fermenter, which just does this. It sits in the fermenter for a little bit. It does need a roof. And it just sits there, and you can make the different types of meads, such as stamina mead, or a lingering stamina mead, or a healing potion, or a lingering healing potion, or a frost resistance, fire resistance, poison resistance. Any kind of a potion will be made using that device there, and quite possibly fermenting something. You have your oven, which also is a cooking device, which does require fire in the front here. And you put your, say, loaves of uncooked bread or any uncooked meal on the top here. This holds up to 4. And with the fire lit, after, just like any cooked food, after a few moments, I'm not too sure exactly the time, it'll say that it's ready. And if you leave it in there, it becomes coal. So make sure you are watching it, because otherwise it will turn to coal. Which coal is useful, which is why you need to use a charcoal kiln for most of the time. You just throw wood into this and here, and it will drop out pieces of charcoal as time goes by. Now, same thing happens here, except the wood just gets used, and if you leave your food in here, it turns into 4 pieces of charcoal, which you can use to power, say, a smelter here, which the ores go there and the coal goes here. And in this case, the ores go here and the coal goes here. The output on both of these are here and here. Let's see, we have a windmill here, which creates your grains. You put your barley into this spot here on the back, actually. And as the wind blows it, it grinds up the barley and spits out bags of flour, barley flour. We have a spinning wheel. A spinning wheel here. You put the flax in here, and out here spits out thread. Linen thread, actually. You got your beehive. You basically have to have a queen bee and some wood. Over time, it creates up to 4 pieces of honey. And you can harvest that daily as long as the bees are spaced out and happy. You have your sap extractor, which sits on a root that is in the mistlands, and given time, it carries up to 10 flagons of sap, which you can then use on a either refinery among soft tissue, and it spits out refined eider, which does damage things because it shoots out lightning bolts. And you have your wisp fountain here, which once you build it, it attracts wisps at night, which you can just pluck out of the sky, which is used to make a wisp light. One moment, I don't remember what it was called. Interesting. I thought you make it there, but it might not be. You make, yeah, wisp light. There it is. 1 silver and 1 wisp. And this is a trinket you use to explore the mistlands. Let's see what else we got here. So don't forget, all of the markers with a star are just upgrades to their previous device. So the forge can go up to 7. 1 being the original forge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a forge can be ranked up to rank 7, as you see here. Wait a minute, something's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't finish. 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Something's wrong here. I'm missing one. What one isn't registering? So we got the bucket. The bucket. Oh, it says it's registering. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I missing? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these, this. There we go. You notice it doesn't have the sparkling things. So it's here, but it's out of range. So if we had put that a little... Let's just put it on this side. That's giving twinkles. There we go. Forge 7. Mystery solved. So at the early game, this is going to be creating most of your weapons, your metal weapons at least, and in some cases not necessarily, not that you'd think it was. So the huntsman bow does require iron in it, and you would make that there and not at the workbench. The workbench does make most of your arrows, but eventually with the iron arrows, or the metal arrows I should say, they're made at the forge. I think you do make the flint axe, the bile bomb, there's a fine wood bow, the crude bow, and a couple more explosive devices for your launcher. Other than that, it's your armors. And yeah, so some of your armors there. The abyssal razor, forgot about that one. And a few other things here. So I'm not too sure the split, but just think of it this way. The forge is your metals and stuff. And that's where you get that. So everything else that you build will be used with your hammer, and upgrading your hammer at the workbench allows it to have higher durability, which just means as you build, it takes less damage. So if I just continuously build items here, as you see here, oh, wrong thing. So it says I have 276 out of 300 builds left. So if we do So that's now at 270 out of 300. So I can build through just about 270 items before this one falls apart. Versus if I make a fresh one, this only has, I guess I actually have to build it. This only has 100 items until you get it to rank 3. Everything else is built here. You do have to unlock these items by either finding particular pieces, as you saw when I did put this down here. Once I have that in my proximity or have used it, it gives me access to all of the items that it teaches. So when you first started, if you remember, and you picked up your first rock, and I do have multiple items set, so it was easier to gather in case I did need to gather. I wasn't sure how the no cost thing worked, but yeah, once you touch an item and it has something related to it, it allows you to make it. Now, as with the Bug Witch, as I was mentioning, the Bug Witch is locked to the map, not your progression, but the map progression. So this character, if I were to go to the Bug Witch here, would have the very bare minimum that the Bug Witch does have to sell, because this map is fresh. Nobody was killed, and all of the bosses still stand. As you see there, none of them are red, to show that they were mounted on the pedestals. So that's going to wrap up the video. If I left anything out, let me know and I will remedy that. And hopefully that helps with your building, or I should say crafting, of items and weapons. Thanks for watching.